Hello everybody and welcome to Time Traveler's Coin Exchange. The vault has opened. So I've been collecting wheat pennies and just Lincoln cents and small cents and just all different kinds of coins over the years. Mainly copper, so that's probably 99% of what we'll see today. I can't 100% tell you what we will find today, but all the ones that I have here so far, they're all flipped. They were put away as I found them. I tried to flip them to preserve them. And so I don't know if these are all 50s here in the first stack that I picked up, but I'm making an attempt to go through all these coins and sort through them, figure out what I'm going to do with them. I've been hoarding them forever. Basically, anytime I found one that was in rather nice condition, whether it looked like it was mint state, or possibly had what looked like an error on the coin, or just something different, just something odd, I put it away. I've been trying to learn more about different varieties, and just learn more about coins in general. So I've learned some. I have a lot more to learn, but basically I just thought it would be good to start going through these coins, taking a second look at them, and thought I could share them with you guys. Hey Last Lakes Coins, welcome. Some coffee. And so before we begin, I will drink some coffee. And so most of these, my guess is most of these are near mint state or AU. Some of them might be problem coins. They might have various amounts of damage. It's just there was this question to me, especially with coins that appeared to be higher grade, that had a little spot here, or it was a beautiful coin but had a scratch on it. So what's it worth? What do you do with it? And these questions still kind of remain. So here we have a 1957p. It looks like it has a weak strike on the reverse. The O is not quite complete. And so I believe that because the strike is not a full strike, it's not worth quite as much. When I put this away, I probably thought, wow, the quarter of the O is non-existent. It's not there. This must be an error. But I think it's more either a weak strike or the die itself had been worn out, and so this coin was struck towards the later life of the die. 1957Ps in MS66 are in pretty good condition. I don't think that this one is there. It's got something going on its rim. It's got a few scratches. Perhaps even with whatever's going on in the rim, it could get an MS64, but it's still, if this coin was gradable, if it doesn't have any significant damage on it, it's probably worth like $5. Whether I could get $5 for it or not is another question. So it's kind of an example of what we'll be looking at. This one is a 1955. And I had put a little E on it, which just was signifying to me that perhaps this is an error coin. I think knowing what I know now, this coin is more of kind of poor man's double die. You can kind of see like a ghost 5 to the right of the second 5 in 1955. And there were quite a lot of these made. It's not a double die like I thought it might be. Once again, it almost looks like the edges of the lettering are kind of pushed into the rim. It's got a very thin rim, but this is like essentially machine doubling. This is not a double die. But when you come across something like this and you don't know what it is, you don't know whether you should keep it or not, and so I just kept it. This one, it almost looks like it's turned to brown I almost want to say it's mint state, but perhaps it's just AU. And the strike on the back, just it looks very, very soft, like E pluribus, like half of it is barely readable, and unum just looks fuzzy. And I don't believe it's from my camera, but it looks like it could be struck a little bit better. Doesn't look like there's any significant damage on it. It does look like there's a little bit of red luster. However, looking at it a little closer, it might just be that the plastic is pressed against his cheek, but it almost looks like there's a little bit of wear on the coin, so this might be an AU coin, even though it still has some original mint luster on it, which I feel like it's just above 5%, but it's just barely. I feel like this could be considered a brown coin. Hey, the SNF Life, welcome. We are just looking through a bunch of coins that I put away a long time ago over the years. This is a 1957p. It's extremely bright. It does have what appears to be just a little bit of spotting on it. It's also curious, the 7 on it, it could be a scratch, but it's just it almost looks like there is a little extra on the 7. Let's see if we can get a light that just on the top right of the 7. It could be a scratch. It's just it's fascinating how there's not any scratches anywhere else. This looks like before it had some spots on it, it was a very, very nice coin. The fields are fairly beautiful. There almost does look like there is a little scratch above the 7, and so perhaps this coin got scratched. Looking at it, it's like I almost want to say this coin, well, let's look at the reverse. I almost want to say this coin could get like an MS65. My guess is it's probably an MS64. I do see a small fingerprint appearing on the reverse as well. Hope that wasn't me. I tried to be careful when flipping these. But most of these coins were found either going through solid date rolls of wheat cents, going through 5,000 count bags of quote unsearched wheat cents on eBay. If that was the case, somebody probably opened a bunch of rolls, poured them in the bag, and then threw a couple BU coins on top. And I also went through just tons and tons of bank boxes and bought different collections and whatnot. I did have some uncirculated rolls. Most of them I sold. I may still have a few. But these are kind of like all the coins I just did not know what to do with. Here we have another 1957p. And almost looks like there's a little notch on the 5, but it kind of looks more like a scratch to me. However, this one is technically a variety. In the aspect, if you look at, in between the B and the E, there is some extra metal there. So it's like a lie by D. But people do collect these. Also, the L is kind of short and the I is squished over to the side. And so I'm not 100% sure, but people do collect these. I probably, out of the millions of coins that I went through, I probably have 1,000 of these kind of, you know, it's not necessarily an error, but it kind of is. There, you can find them in a bunch of dates from the 40s to 50s. I just thought that they were cool. I saw that they went for a premium on eBay, so anytime I found one, I put it to the side. And so this one's probably like, you know, it's definitely, this one looks brown to me. And so it's either a very low MS brown coin or it's an AU coin, would be my guess. And technically any of these could have been cleaned before I owned them. I of course have not cleaned any of my coins. This one doesn't particularly look clean. It looks like it's got a couple little things on it that would have been cleaned up if someone was going to do that. I'm just looking at the wheat stock on the left. For some reason it looked like there was an extra line. I think it's probably just the way the lighting hits it. So it does look like okay, there's other coins in here. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just showing you 1957s. Now this one, I feel like looking at it, the date almost looks a little bit fatter than the normal date. Let's see if I can grab the other one. I don't know, it looks kind of fat too. Let me see it. But I know that some kinds of doubling, it doesn't have distinct doubling on it. Yeah, this one doesn't have the Liberty. This one almost has like a ghost 7 on it. It may just be the way the coin has toned. It doesn't look like a shadow, but it almost looks like it wants to have a extra shadow. So this is like a poor man's double die for 1957. And it's just, when I was looking at coins, it's like, oh, there's something different about this one. And just wouldn't always know what it is. The 5 also looks like it's almost got like, it's probably just a scratch. And this one, I don't know if it's the surface of the flip, but it almost looks like it has like 10,000 little tiny dings to it. It's just kind of interesting. And so basically as I go through these, I'm just gonna kind of neaten them up. There's 2 coins that I am actively looking for. One is my long lost Pinocchio Lincoln cent, and the other one is my Lincoln cent with horns on it. And it just kind of makes Lincoln look like the devil. It's kind of hilarious, but I want to find these coins because I never got them graded. I think when I find them, I will actually submit them to get graded, not because they are worth money for their date or their grade, but because I want to preserve them. This one is a 1957D. It's kind of a red-brown, but it's got some interesting toning to it. It's just kind of like a purpley blue color, not as bright as the 1933 above my head or anything like that. I'd say it's a red-brown toning, but it's just got a little bit more than most red-brown coins have to offer. And I do apologize if tone coins don't show up, but we should run into random tone coins in these videos, and so this will probably take the rest of my life, honestly, to show you guys all these coins. But I figure if I do a video every couple days, we can at least like get some good chunks into them, and we can look at a bunch of different stuff. And maybe someday somebody will watch these videos who knows more than I do, and they'll be able to say, oh my gosh, you have something really rare there. And I've tried to sell these just as, just random, like I put up like, 100 flipped Lincoln cents, and just tried to sell them like that on eBay, and I don't know, it doesn't seem to work. This one looks like it's a very worn die. It also looks kind of like it's a 1955 Poor Man. There's like, can't really see it. There's like an extra notch on the 5, and then like an extra kind of hump on the 5. It's definitely not the 1955 that everybody wants. And it is interesting, like the cello or plastic or whatever is in these, definitely, I don't know, they've been in these for a long time. Staples haven't rusted yet. That's good. But this one is definitely looks circulated. Who knows, it might have even been cleaned, but this die just looks so worn out. And so this one is a circulated one. We will run into ones from all different years. And I think that for the most part, I kept mainly more of the higher grade ones. I feel like I did go through some stuff years ago, and did some bulk lots where I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I just had 100 of. So somebody got lucky at some point. And so I'm not positive. This one almost looks like it has an extra notch on the 5. You can just kind of see it looks like a shadow on it, but it pretty much stays at any angle I put it at. This one looks like it is circulated too. This one also has a cud. There's a big chunk of metal. Like, I mean, you guys can see that pretty darn clear. I don't even need to say anything about it. But this one's got a giant cud stuck in the wheat stalk, and the wheat stalk is all messed up. So it's like, when I found things like this, is this an error? I will just have to watch Copper Coins with Chuck more to find out the answers to all these questions. But this one is in circulated condition. And, you know, it's like, did that attribute to anything going on in the front? I don't know. Will we see any of these coins again? I have no idea. Yeah, that was a massive cut. And normally I feel like they're on the rim. So is it just a die break and there's just like a loose piece? This is another one of those 1957. So it seems like we have a theme here for this. There was just a half a box sitting in the drawer. And it seems like I was picking out things that just looked doubled. And all this is just with my eyes. Like, I don't use a loop when I'm going through stuff. I didn't have a microscope camera when I started collecting these. It's just, I could see something just not right about the coin. Just something looked different. And so I don't know if that's a scratch. It's just on the left wheat ear. It just, my guess is it's a scratch. It just almost looked like it had a second little, it's just running exactly parallel to the other line, so maybe it's not 100% parallel. But so I'm thinking the reason that I pulled this one aside is just the 7 looked a little bit doubled on it. And I didn't know what that could be. You want that cut one? Well, maybe I should, oh wow, this one is toned really nicely. This one is like kind of a silvery blue color, and it's not really gonna show up on here. And this one looks like it's a poor man double die, or at least it's got, you know, like some extra 5 on the end there. Almost looks like the eye is a little bit interesting in Liberty as well. Almost looks like there is a little bit extra there. And the U in Trust looks like it's got, it might just be getting pressed up towards the rim. It's got an interesting E on We. And I wish I knew and could just say, okay guys, this is this, but I'll have to wait until I can get inside Chuck's brain someday and get his wisdom. I just need to watch more of his channel. If you guys haven't seen Copper Coins with Chuck, I do recommend it. I have not watched a single episode of his show without learning something new. Hey, hidden numismatist. Hey, Edwin, welcome. Yeah, I definitely recommend, you know, checking out each other's channels, because like we can all learn from each other. Since I got my head out of the YouTube, I don't know, I just had my head down making videos, made thousands of videos, but didn't go around YouTube. And once I stopped doing that, I started learning so much. You know, I created a lot of videos, which was great, but the amount of knowledge that I've learned since I have gotten my head out of the tunnel vision that it was in. Yes, please get all the coffee you need. And so I feel like this one is a better kind of example of a poor man's double die. There's almost a full 5. I feel like I have some of them that have like a triple 5 on them, and I'm just like, surely this must be an error. The S in trust, it just looks abnormal. The T looks abnormal. They just, like the top of the S is just way thicker than the bottom, and the T, it's almost like a triangle. It's just, you're looking through bags of 5,000 wheat pennies, and you just start to, you can't just ignore things. You're just like, what is up with this one? So this one's obviously circulated. It's got some scratches. It's got some wear. Um, we'll definitely be finding a lot of cuds. I definitely collected cuds. I didn't even know what a cud was. I was just like, surely this is a rare coin. And so yeah, it's like I'm finding out, there's more than just a 1955 double die. There's more than just a 1972 double die. There's more, just because, yeah, it's like this one, I don't know what it was if I put it up on eBay. I feel like when I found coins like this, I was like, okay, it's an error, but I don't know what it is. I'll put 1,000 coins up, that I think are an error, and let someone else cherry pick them. And so I would put 1,000 coins up, and like 5 of them would sell, and there wasn't the logic in it. And so some of the letters look a little bit faint. I'm guessing because it kind of has that ghost vibe. And there were a lot of these, from my understanding, like there was a lot of coins that were minted with like that looked kind of like a poor man's double die for this year. It's not even that they're that rare. It's more that there is kind of, I don't know, people collect them even though they're not rare. There's a following of people who really enjoy and like them. If they can't have the 1955 double die, they want one that's the next best thing. And while there may be ones that are better, and so yeah, I'm trying to figure out, I mean, that's one of the things is like I'm wanting to sell all these basically, but at the same time, I don't have all the knowledge to know what they are. And by the time that I spent like a decade or 2 decades like putting these away, this one looks like it's red browned. I don't know if it's got a little bit of toning on it, but it's, you look at this one in comparison to all the other ones that we've been looking at, and it's like the letters just look way more normal on this one than they did before. We haven't looked at the back yet, so perhaps there's something going on with it, but I think that this one just looked like a nicer example. And, sometimes it wasn't about the coin looking odd, it was just, I had 5,000 of the same date, and this was the nicest one that I saw. There is some red on it. I don't even know how to describe this one. It's like, it's red brown, but like the fields are like a blue black, or like you can obviously see where the coin is darker, but it's just like super super dark. Like Lincoln is like nearly black, but yet there's like, it almost wants to be blue. I just don't know what to call it, and I don't know necessarily what to think about that color of toning. I mean, it's not even a chocolate brown, it's like darker than brown, and I don't know, it's like coins like this are like kind of the mystery. It's like you find a coin that's like solid red, it has no errors on it, and you can tell, okay, this is a high grade coin. But a coin, that has like a big spot on it, or like, toned brown, it's like, what is it? This one looks kind of nice. And so I guess this is an example, it's got a fingerprint on it, it's a BU, it's got, it's got some extra 5 on it for sure, almost looks like the second 5 or the first 5 has a little tip on it. It's got a big fingerprint all across. Like I can't even see the fingerprint in person. It just looks bright red, but under the camera here it shows up pretty clear. Let's go. It looks like there's a crack on Lincoln's head. It doesn't look like a scratch. I think my hand is blocking some of the light. There we go. I was trying to figure out why I couldn't get it to reflect. So this is maybe one of the higher grade ones that I had. But I mean, like I organized some of these, so I feel like I have like pretty much a solid box. I feel like the boxes I've been storing them in are kind of like this, just kind of like normal collector, and just would flip up a bunch. And I think pretty much I kept like one solid box of every date and every mint. And then just kind of sorted through things, and if I had like, you know, like a full box of ones that were like bright red, then the ones that were kind of more speckled and stuff, I kind of, I think those were the ones that I attempted to sell first, and just the idea of like keeping the best ones. But this is just, I'm pulling these out of a drawer that just never even got organized. So part of this project here is liberate the drawer in my desk, so that I can put other things in it. Eventually get all these organized. It's like the T on this one looks tiny. It's like missing almost all of the top. It's there, it's just it kind of got like pushed into it. There's definitely kind of like an impression of another Poorman die kind of thing. We've seen a lot of those so far. Is there an L? There's an L. It's a little bit faint. This one looks circulated. It looks like it has a rim, some rim damage. Surprised I didn't see that on the front. Maybe it's lost in the glare. Maybe it's only on one side. The plastic shield confused a little big. This one looks like perhaps AU, perhaps it's brown. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like it gets harder once coins become brown. For some reason I feel like it's harder to see scratches in them. Looks like there might be a fingerprint there. I just see some interesting lined texture below Liberty there. It just hasn't turned dark yet. And I'm not seeing, maybe this one was bright red before. I'm not seeing what made me think maybe, I know looks like the end of the wheat cent there is kind of messed up. Maybe it's just pushed up against the plastic, but it almost looks like they're smoothed out. And then the N, it looks like the tops of the N and the top of the E. So I'm just not sure what happened to this one. And so something like this, it's like, is this damage? Or is it a broken die? I don't have the answers. So like, I don't know, maybe the next time I do one of these videos like this, I should write down, you know, take a picture of the coin, write down what's going on, and then try to find an answer for it and educate myself. It's like, I know the top minds can only look at so many coins. So this one's got some brain damage to it. I enjoyed collecting ones with like kind of skull cracks, I think is what it called. And this one, it looks like Lincoln had a few lobotomies. Like, it doesn't look like one fixed the problem. It looks like there's a notch on the end of both fives. It's possible that it's just a scratch. Um, but Lincoln definitely, he's been damaged. Almost looks like there might be a die crack in his coat about 2/3 of the way down too. Um, no, I don't think that there is normally a line there. Is there something with the D? I don't know, there's just like a weird like kind of extra rim impression, so I'm guessing the lettering's got pushed. My guess is this die was super worn down, and that's kind of given us the effect. The L is kind of flattened and kind of disappearing. Excuse me. This one also has a cud. It's got a cud in the wheat stalk there. It's not quite as crazy as that first one that we saw. But it's amazing how it's like you can have, you know, one thing going on the front, and then you can have a completely different thing going on the reverse of the coin. And so yeah, anytime I found coins with just something, it's like, what's going on with the T? You know, there's like an extra chunk of metal there, just a little one, but that's not a traditional T. And so I can say 90 per. That is okay. What is it? Is it a die chip? Educate me, Paul. Educate me. Is it a die chip from a worn die? Because a cud, say, like from my understanding, a cud is on the rim, and it's like a broken off piece. Cuds only exist on the rim, and so what is the proper terminology for when a chunk of metal exists? You know, inside the 9 or inside the wheat stalk. What would be the proper terminology? Cuss? Cuds. Because this one is, you know, the common 1955 kind of poor man's double die. It doesn't show up too well on this one. It's just you get that kind of ghost, and I have better examples of it that we've looked at here. Cuss, not cuss. Grease on the die. I definitely have some ones that look like they were struck through grease. So part of one of the reasons also of just taking all these out and starting to go through them is that like I have learned more, but as you can see, Paul Hampton, I have more to learn and more information to retain, and so that's one of the goals here. And so I'm really happy when people who know things a little bit better are willing to share it. So thank you. Please correct me, guys. Please educate me, enlighten me. I will be in your debt. What's going on with the I? It's like the L is pretty much gone. And then it's like the L got like squished into the I. It's like almost like an ivory. And then the rim has just gotten squished up into the rim, or the lettering has gotten squished, and pretty much everything just kind of got squished towards the outside of the rim in this. And so my understanding of this is that it's a very, very, very worn die, and it's having to apply too much pressure. Nice. The ghost is from die deterioration, so just very, very old die in its later states. Die deterioration. I will use die deterioration. So I'm looking on this one. I guess maybe it was on the front that. So basically, every coin that we're looking at was just put away into the hoard, because I didn't know what they were. I was, I knew that there was something different about the coin, but I didn't know if it was worth anything or not. Um, it's like some of these ones, it's like I almost felt like I could see like extra lettering. Like it almost looks like there's a "we" to the right of "we." And then it almost looks like there's lettering. I can't see quite close enough here for you guys. Almost out of focus here too. So I'm guessing it's die deterioration, which is causing there to be a little extra 5 there. So is die deterioration basically just considered machine damage? It's kind of doubling from a deteriorated die. I'm thinking that's a scratch on the right wheat stalk there. Almost looks like there's a little extra piece of something, but I think it's just a scratch. It's okay. I don't mind if people cuss or cut or. Um, I definitely don't type perfect. So let's see. Did I put this one away just because it was kind of brighter red than the normal ones I was going through? Possibly. It's nice to have a bunch of brilliant uncirculated coins from his collection, Paul. That's really cool. I'm wondering, like, I feel like my grandfather collected coins, like, he let me go through, like, he just had, like, milk jugs and, like, those, like, glass water containers, like the 5-gallon ones full of coins, when he'd let me, like, go through them to try to find coins to put into my Whitman book. I remember when he died, everybody got kind of like a little Dixie cup, a little wax paper cup full of coins. But one of my uncles was a coin collector as well, and so I think anything serious, it was his father, and so I think he inherited pretty much anything that was of value. And from my understanding, he was able to pay for college and whatnot with his coin collection. And so I almost wish that I had skipped college and just continued on coin collecting, because I was starting to do basically what I've started doing for about the past 10 years, like 20 years ago, and I feel like I could have retired by now otherwise. So here we've got some, I don't know, would you consider this die deterioration with the extra kind of metal in between? Is this one considered to be a Liberty? It's just it's not quite a full eye in there. It's kind of hard to get it full on. So this one is a 1955 S. I feel like we haven't looked at any of them yet. Well, it's always possible I can go closer. I do need to get a better microscope. So this one has, I guess, some die deterioration as well. There's just like a little extra chunk of metal. But it also looks like it's a little bit shinier than the rest of the coin. Perhaps it's just because it got scratched up more because it was higher. Perhaps that is just damage. You thought a repunchment mark? I know the film is pretty hard. It's a little bit better than a mint cello in the aspect that it is flat. I've definitely found making the videos in the mint cellos more difficult. And I don't know, we can put some of these aside, and at the end, how about this? If there's a coin that you guys want to see more close up at the end before I end, just, you know, say I want to see this one closer. And so this one, the S is touching the 5. I'm guessing that's why I put this one aside. Almost looks like there is a little extra S inside of there. Like if you look at the bottom half, there almost looks like there is something extra in there. And I think that's a piece of dust. Yep. And so I don't know how many, I'd say there's probably a few 100,000 of these coins I'm gonna have to go through, and so I don't know how I will spend all that time doing it. But I took all the time to like put everything away, so it's like I gotta finish the project, and this is essentially creating like a 4th project. I already have the mint cello project and the grading project. What's going on with the U? It's like the S, like I don't know, like all the whole trust just looks like, if you look at in God and then you look at trust, it just looks like way wider. The 9 almost looks like, I think it's just a shadow. The 4 looks a little bit fatter than a normal 4. And the T looks super worn. Can't remember if we looked at the back here. Do you guys have any opinion on these? If they're just like cardboard flips? Do you guys have any opinion on them as far as, you know, I put them in them so that they weren't all touching each other so I could organize them. Do you guys have opinions on, like if it adds to the life of a coin, if it kills the life of a coin? Yeah, so this is basically just, like, I spent so long just going through, like, if you guys buy, okay, so what's going on? This one's got a lot. Is this damage? Is this a damaged planchet? I mean, we've got down here on the coat, it's kind of the least noticeable thing going on, but there's like lamination peel, lamination error. It's just not quite right. And then is this just like a defective planchet? But yeah, I don't know, pretty much at one point I tried to buy just every single bag. Yeah, I was still under the impression that like wheat pennies were rare, and so I tried to buy every single bag, every single roll of wheat pennies that there were out there. I was insistent and just basically sorting them all, like obsessive about sorting them all. Oh my gosh. And then the funny thing is, like, when I started to move on in my collecting years, I ended up pretty much anything that was rolled that was a solid date, about 90% of them I just sold out, just put them up 99-cent auctions on eBay and just sold them out, and just kind of kept what I guess I thought was the best of the best. Part of me regrets it, but at the same time, moving into higher graded coins, I've enjoyed the higher graded ones, and it's a lot easier to keep records of coins with a serial number on it. It's a lot easier to organize them. It's a lot easier to sell a certified graded coin. And so why I miss some of them, they're in wheat penny heaven somewhere. We'll look at that one closer. We can kind of see a floored planchet. What is under his chin? Let's go back. Sorry, I was talking. I'm not seeing anything under his chin unless he's just got a big fat chin in this one. But boy, do I hope that we find the Pinocchio one. I really do. It's got like a planchet flaw that looks exactly like Pinocchio's nose. I think that is like my true incentive of going through all of these. What is going on? Is there a mint mark? Is it because the S or the 3 has a scratch on it? Nose has a scratch on it. Why did I put this one away? Is it just a little bit brighter than the rest? I'm not sure what was. Thanks for stopping by, Liz. See you again soon. I think this weekend I'm going to go through that old metal box of world coins. I know you like them. So if you're around this weekend, I believe I will have enough time to make a video of that. And I wish I had taken the time to like put it, like anytime there was definitely something that I wanted to take a second look at, I just put a little E on the corner of the flip to just kind of give me a mental note that there was something I'm looking for, like there's a reason that I flipped this, but it doesn't appear to have happened every time. This one has some scratches on the reverse. Yeah, I think these coin flips are about 10 years old. It's like they advertise them as dust free. I believe they're PVC free, but I am not 100% sure. It's been so long. Okay. Yeah, I've only got, geez, this is going to take me a lifetime. Oh, the next one's not a wheat penny too. I'm not sure what it is. It might be a flying eagle cent. But yeah, I'm looking like I've almost been going here for an hour. I guess I wasn't expecting to have so many kind of like coins that were kind of errors or different. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll finish with this stack and then I'll zoom in on some of them here for you guys. But I wasn't even realizing how long this was going to take. But that's also one of the things I think I need to do, is I do need to get a better microscope. As this one is a flying eagle cent. Looks like it's got some environmental damage to it. Is it only because it's a flying eagle cent that it's in here? It says 25 on it. I don't quite see 25 in it. You know, it's got some good detail of it. I'm wondering if, I don't see a date on this one. It's possible. Sometimes when I'm on the loop or underneath the magnifying glass, I can't see the date on the more worn coins, and then you can just see it with your naked eye. It's funny. All right, thanks for stopping by, Edwin. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be on pretty much every morning, just spending at least an hour. Days I can do more. I need to work on some watch time on here. And also just, I enjoy going through these coins with people more than I do just by myself, because honestly, a lot of these streams I've done, people are teaching me things that are new, and it's really valuable for me. and so it's good time spent. Looks like the next one is a Flying Eagle cent as well. This one's at 1858. If you guys have been watching the stream, I've gone through a couple hundred Flying Eagles in the last couple weeks. It's kind of hard to see this one through the plastic, but I don't think we are missing anything really here other than the fact that it is a Flying Eagle cent. And gosh, I wish I don't know. I found a really interesting, the last roll of Flying Eagles that I did, Paul, maybe you'd be able to answer it, but I think we looked at it at the very end of the video. So if you ever check out the rolls of Flying Eagles that I did, but it's like, I don't know, like, it looks like it was struck like 4 or 5 times. And just parts of the coins are the coins got kind of a bent out place where it just kind of like has a hump out the side. But then it's like some of the lettering is like raised up, like it's been struck multiple times, and then some of it is like crushed in, like it's an impression from another coin. And I don't know if it's just somebody like having fun with the coin or what, but it was like the oddest looking Flying Eagle I've ever seen. And so that was in the last video I did. I think we found it mid-roll, but then I went back to it just because I wanted to zoom in on it, because it was just crazy looking. I believe this is 1858. Looks it's kind of hard. I didn't even realize there were Flying Eagles in this roll, but like I said, this is just like a random drawer full of stuff that's just been sitting there. It never got organized into a box by date or year. Just like, you know, some of these were better looking, some of them are just, you know, like I'm not just gonna throw away a Flying Eagle if I find one. Alright, so this one says it's got an E on it. So it's a 1944 D. It looks like it's in circulated condition. The 9 might have a scratch on it. It might have some extra metal just accumulated on it. The D looks a little interesting. Maybe we'll look at this one after. It's got a scratch on it as well. And the T is a little bit interesting, but I think it's just scratched. This is circulated. We got a couple more here, and then I'll go through. I'm not sure what's going on the B. I also haven't tried really zooming in. I'm not sure what's going on the 9 and the 7 on this one. It looks like it's kind of about chocolate brown. Maybe it's AU. Maybe it's like a low MS brown. It's got a little bit of luster left. It's got a little bit of spots at the bottom there. There's one not even in a flip there. This one has an E on it, 1935S. That's not good if I can barely make it out with. I think we'll have to go closer on it. That S looks pretty thick, almost looks like there's something to the right of the S. Looks pretty flat on the reverse here. I'd like to look at that one up close. So what is this? It's just, it's in a little bag. I guess this might have, it's like, I think that this is also the drawer that anytime I bought, so this one's got like a filled B, mostly filled. Anytime that somebody sent me like an extra, like, you know, you order something on eBay and they put like here's a small gift. So the fact that this is not in a flip, I think that just anything that people put extra that wasn't something that I was buying to resell specifically, it just went in the drawer. So like the plastic's even more painful than the flip. Alright, a few more. And if these are flying eagles, it'll go pretty fast, and then we'll go back over the other stuff. Looks like this was 1858. I don't know if this was PVC or if this is Scotch tape or what kind of tape, but obviously the coin is very scratched. This is cull condition. I don't think there was anything special in it. It just was, I was trying to play Pokemon with flying eagle cents, and I attempted to buy everyone on the market, but everybody seemed to just, you know, every time I'd get another 1,000, another 1,000 of them would pop up. So this one is interesting, actually, simply because, here, let's take a look at the reverse. So there's, to me it looks more like, I don't even know. So it's like, is this two coins that have been hammered together? It looks like they indent. I know it's harder for you guys to see, but it's like, I believe this is indented into the coin rather than, you know, an extra raised up rim. And so could somebody create this themselves by taking a hammer to two coins? Is this a die clash? It looks to me like the coin is, whatever has struck it is another coin, and whatever struck it is about the same diameter, or it has the same shape as another flying eagle to me. Like, it doesn't look like it's been struck by another coin. Like, it doesn't look like a 50-cent piece or something, for say. It's definitely interesting. Like, to me, it's like, I'd feel like if this was struck before the main strike, instead of it getting faded after the C would be the faded part, because that would have been lowered down. I'm not sure. A vice job, just kind of crushing two pennies together. That's about what I thought, and that's what made the one that I found yesterday interesting, is that some of the lettering was raised and some of it was depressed. So this looks like a Liberty. It looks like it has a full I there in between the B and the E. It's also got some pretty nice scratches, like vertical and horizontal. But I guess an error or a variety, or I don't know, what would you classify the Liberty as? Is it a worn die? Is it like the die got worn out, the die deterioration, and a piece of metal kind of jumped there, broke off and jumped? This one, like, in person, it kind of looks like Lincoln is like the X-Men Cyclops, and he's just got like this like blue laser beam coming out of his eyes. Almost looks like it wants to be kind of tiger striped or like wood grain, but it's not. I don't really know how to generalize this one or describe this one. It's just kind of, perhaps it's been cleaned. A die chip. Okay. It's like, if I'm gonna make these videos and talk about coins, yeah, this one looks like it's got just 1,000 little dings on the reverse. It's just very interesting. I mean, in some ways it almost just feels like it's been cleaned. Like someone was just trying to like etch a bunch of junk off of it. It's like, I'm trying to learn more, because like I don't want to make these videos and just be like, this is a very rare error. Look, it is the upside down date. I saw this on copper coins. It's very rare. Chuck is hilarious. So this one looks like a 1957 P. Looks like it's in, you know, it's super bright, super beautiful, but there are a bunch of just little tiny spots on it. It looks like the 7, so I'm guessing this one doesn't have this doesn't even have a date on it. I normally date these. Um, I don't see anything. I think that this one was just in better condition. Um, and so I think that's why this one went in the box. Carbon spots. Carbon spots are not our friends. Alright, let's just see. See, I need a better microscope. And so to me, like, I get the feeling, like, I mean, it looks like the coin has been cleaned. It's super, super shiny and almost looks like it's been cleaved off around the wing. It's like somebody was probably, like, this was probably like in like a bulk lot of flying eagles that I got. And they probably just threw this in there to, you know, as a damaged coin, but it's like when you see it in like a big group of them, you're like, what's going on with that one? I want to buy this and get a closer look. I don't think I bought this as like an error coin or anything. I just was trying to buy every flying eagle cent that there was. Let's see. I don't know, it's like I can turn on the light. I'm afraid I'm just gonna blind you guys. I don't feel like that's gonna be helpful. I don't know, I can change the angle. Maybe that will... Well, we can see some environmental damage we couldn't see before. I feel like we're farther away even. I know, it looks like there's a little bit extra to the 5. I don't know, there almost looks like there's a little extra to the left of the S. And almost on the inside, but it's like, I feel like I can get close enough to tell that there's something going on, but I can't really get closer. The outer little ring, the design is perfect. It's like, I need to be able to like zoom in, like right to, oh God, that's so bad. How are those spots for you guys? And I hate blinding you all. It's like when I was making the video of the toned coin earlier. It's like I had to have the lights on it so you guys could see the rainbow toning. How is it without the lights? Awful. I feel like this angle was about the best because the lights don't go. But I think that this is probably going to be as close. I don't know, to me there looks like there's something going on with the S and the 5. And this is one of the reasons I need to get a better microscope. I am running out of time here, so we'll see if I can get through this kind of stack of ones that I put. And so it's like this 7, it's probably just smushed, and the 5 probably just has a scratch on it. I don't know, it almost looks a little, it looked like the 7 looks fat, and like the 5 looks like it has just a little extra line on it. Just like a little bit extra. Is there anything else? And I will make sure to prepare to do close up. I'll pull some cool stuff aside in future videos here. It's like, is there just like extra, I can't tell what is damage, what is crud. Like it's like the D almost looks like there's an extra line on the back of it, and the 4 does too, and the top of the 9. But it's like I don't know if that's just it's like circulated. I think that was the only reason that one was pulled aside. The S on this one. I don't know, I thought I was seeing something there. It's like I see something, but I can't. Well, to the north of the S, it almost looks like there is. I don't know, there looks like there's something to the north, and there looks like there's something in the 7 inside the bottom and the top of it. I mean, is it just a scratch? I don't know, like I can see an S in there. Like an S that's like to the north, and even like the bottom of the S looks like it has part of the, is it a ball serif design? Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I've been trying to study like the variety Vesta and copper coins. I've been trying to study more. So here's a closer look at the whatever is going on with this one. I mean, it looks like it was on the planchet because like the edge of the, it just feels like there would be metal sticking off the edge of the coin. I mean, perhaps it's acid. But then that doesn't account for on his jacket here, like there's like just like a thin strip of metal that has been peeled off and crushed against the coin. Kind of looks like a die crack coming. I think you were asking about the chin on this one. Was there a cut or something on the back on this one too? I don't remember. But I'll see if I can get through the last couple ones of these, but I have exactly 3 minutes, and I do apologize. And I guess one of the things I need to realize too is that like I can only look under a microscope for so many hours before everything looks like a double die for me. So maybe the U here is just wider. It looks like there's a scratch right through it. But it looks like there's a scratch through the S. And maybe the T has just been scratched multiple times. I don't know, it looked way thicker. But I feel like if I, like my dyno cam is probably getting close to 10 years old here now. This was one of the early models, and it doesn't even have its original software. And so I feel like if I got a newer one with higher resolution, like if they have like a 1080 or 4K or something, I feel like it would be beneficial. It's like an interesting looking L on it. There's some nice scratches on Lincoln. Looks like he's been in a little battle. It's like I can't even get closer on the little dots between E pluribus unum to actually see if any of them like have anything going on with them. It's like, is that like a little extra on the bottom of it, or is the S just crushed on the top and the bottom? Just kind of like, it reminds me of like two different snakes, kind of like the serpents coiled around each other, kind of overlapping each other. I guess it's harder too. It's like once you start zooming up on coins that are, circulated, they really start to have more going on with them, or there looks like there's more going on with them than there actually is. Little Cud was about 7. L seems to get into the room a lot. Yeah, it does. All right. I have to fly somewhere really quick and jump in my time machine. I will be back as soon as I can, but this is probably going to be the end of the stream for today. I'm going to try to get streaming a little bit earlier tomorrow. I apologize, and I'd like to start to get these streams to about 2 to 2.5 hours long, because otherwise I'm going to be doing this for the next 10 years. And I have other projects I want to move on to, and I want to start getting together. Once I start learning how to find all this stuff, I want to make a comprehensive video catalog of every single coin and every single variety that I can, so that others who follow won't have to wonder, what is this? And so I'm going to have to go. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for teaching me some new things, and thank you everyone else who's here and who has been watching. Thank you all the wonderful people out there that inspire me to learn more about these coins and not just hoard them, because I just hoarding them, it's just, there's no point to it. I want to share them. That's half the reason I'm making these videos, and I want to learn more. I enjoy it. I can do it all day long. I always thought there was something weird with me, that I would just stare at coins for hours and hours, days and weeks and seasons, and but I really enjoy being here on YouTube and getting to meet other people and know that I'm not the only one out there with this coin addiction, and that other people actually like to talk about coins, and don't just get bored and slowly back away from me if I talk about things that I'm passionate about. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for watching. Thank you for teaching me some new things. Thank you for correcting me. If you're ever watching, please, please do. I would much rather be saying things correctly and making these videos and have them be helpful for people rather than causing confusion. But I'll be back between like 9:30 and probably 10 o'clock tomorrow. And I've also got this one. Where am I? I've got this one tomorrow, which I'm going to do a short video of, but the preview, 1953 proof 68 red Lincoln wheat cent. And so I'll do a short video of that before. I'm super excited about this coin. I've actually had it for a couple weeks, and I really, really am going to enjoy making a video of it. Yes, no, I definitely, I've missed a couple of his last ones because I had I don't know, I had one of those like lives or weeks where life just got real, and just had multiple things throw themselves, and it's like I've just been barely able to get on YouTube and do my minimum stuff. I love Chuck's program. I try to go back and watch all the stuff if I miss him live, but I usually try to at least just stop by to show support, because he's awesome, and I totally plug his show pretty much at least once a day on here, because I can only teach people so much, and I want to send them where, if they enjoy my show, that's great. I want as many people here, but it's like, if people are really wanting to learn, I try to point people to him and to Ken, and and just all the people that really know a lot about coins. Thanks so much for watching. I do have to go now. I am late. Alright, see you guys in the future. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic day.